Hey everybody, welcome to Brainiac Baseball 1985 Detroit Tigers season replay. Today we are going to do the spring training for the 85 season. And the way that we go about this is that we play each individual day, day by day, by using a one-day mode here at the top, you might see. And we do that because throughout spring training, our team, the Tigers, are playing, but so are all the other teams. And because of that, there can be many different transactions transpiring. Like, for example, there could be trades between other teams, free agent signings, and there certainly can be injuries that might affect the team for the entire season. Also, there are some teams that have players who are already injured from last season, and they may be coming back before spring training is over or by the time the season starts. So there might be players being added to rosters off the IL. So there's a lot that can happen here in the next 31 days of spring training gameplay. And so before we get started on that, I just want to show you who is left as free agents. Here is the list, and you can see I have it in order of declining value. This is what they're seeking. Like Rance Molnix is seeking a one-year deal for $380,000, and this is his rating currently, and his peak is 79. If you're unfamiliar with this game, the average rating is an 80. So most of the people here that you'll see that are available as free agents are below league average. So we're looking at players who are, perhaps a bench guy or maybe someone for AAA. If you look down below, you'll see that Rance Molnix is already negotiating with the Minnesota Twins. And we can scroll down a few of these just to show you. There's Hubie Brooks, who's negotiating with the Blue Jays. The Brock Ness monster, Greg Brock, not looking at anybody. Dennis Littlejohn is negotiating with the Cubs. Dwight Evans is looking to go back to the Expos. Roy Smalley is negotiating with the Padres. LaRue Washington looking for a 2-year deal from the Blue Jays. Ed Romero negotiating with the Reds. Billy Sample with the Braves. Nobody looking for Gary Carter, but Dave Engel, 1-year deal with the Cardinals. Dwayne Murphy, 1 year with the Padres. Tucker Ashford, Cubbies. Doyle Alexander, Orioles. And then a bunch of people here. It looks like that is the extent of it. So, as we scroll back up, we'll take a look here at the pitchers. Now, there's really nobody here of value. There's basically 3 free agents that are players who are cut from other teams. One is Bob Stanley. Nobody's looking at him. Chris Knapp, who was let go, I believe, from the White Sox. And Ben Hayes, who was let go from the Reds. All the other players are all players who were eligible in the draft that did not get drafted. When we scroll all the way to the bottom here, you'll just see some Schlebbersons who are at the end of their careers, just waiting to retire for the most part. So those are the free agents that are available. I looked at our Tigers team. We'll revisit that real quick before we enter. Are there any positions that are up for grab? That's the question. George Brett, because of his terrible defense last year, is going to be our DH. Kenny Smith, who was our DH last year, will play his natural position, which is first base. He's not very good defensively, but because we lost Greg Brock, we let him go to free agency. Our backup will be Rusty Tillman, and the two of them could platoon. Ken Smith did run out of gas at the end of the year, and he was on pace to have a big home run season. He finished at 23, which is respectable, but not what we expected from him. all of our positions, in my opinion, are filled. Doug Baker, who in his real life career was just a utility guy, but he played so well in a limited role. Why not give him the opportunity to play third base? If he's not good enough to get it done, we have some options. We can go to George. We can go to the free agency. We can make a trade. Or we could even call up Mike Pagliarulo, who got a cup of coffee with the September call-ups. The other option to consider long-term is that we do have Matt Williams, third baseman, in single A. And it's going to be a few seasons before he's really able to perform at the major league level. So I'm not really considering him, but I'm just throwing that out there. So we're going to go with plan A at third and let Doug Baker prove himself if he can. If not, we'll go to the backup plan. Basically, there isn't anyone else here that has their job up for grabs. Our bench is solid. It's Larkin, Tillman, Bass, and Marty Party is the backup. So we have our backup infielder. We have Rusty Tillman, who can help at first or DH, and is a good right-handed bat off the bench. Kevin Bass, who is always our fourth outfielder, is available. And then we have some other options here in AAA. So I think we're offensively as good as we're going to be. Everybody got a little bit older. Some people are going to decline. A couple people will probably bounce back. Hopefully, Glenn Wilson and Lou Whitaker are two that are going to bounce back from last year. Whitaker got injured, never really came around, and Glenn Wilson had a terrible sophomore season. And yet we ran him out there, every day. Our pitching staff leaves a lot to be desired. There's going to be injuries. People are going to lose jobs here. Our bullpen is fine, and we have backup possibilities. Now, if Frank LaCourte does not make the team, and he could, I could choose Frank LaCourte over Carl Willis. We will have to release him because he is on a major league deal. He did really well for us in limited duty last year, and so we'll have to make a determination at the end of spring training what the right thing for the overall benefit of the team will be. Okay, I think we're ready to get started. I'm sure you're tired of hearing me talk. Thank you guys, I have to say, for the time that you devoted to the divisional previews. Those are all done and available in the 1985 Detroit Tigers season replay playlist that's on our main page. These are all the transactions from 85 so far, from January 1st through to today in the game, which is March 1st. So we're going to go day by day, one day at a time, and see what transpires in transactions. So let's get it started. Here we go, one day at a time. Oh, of course, it wants to save first thing. It's going to save once a week on its own, which is fine. That's what we want. And so it's going to just it won't take this long every time. This is just the first time. And, I like Rance Mulliniks would be a good backup third baseman for us. It's simulating here now. We'll see if anything pops up. A whole bunch of stuff popped up. Okay. So here we go. We got Roy Smalley. He did sign that one-year deal with the Padres, and he is on the major league roster. So in theory, that's a good move for them. You see what he did. Remember, we started the sim in 1980. So Smalley played for the Twins, the Reds, the Red Sox, and now he's on the Padres. Okay, and then Hubie Brooks signed with Baltimore. I don't think that was expected, and they put him in AAA. So Hubie's only had 1 year that with the Mets in 83, where he had a full season. And then, I missed Dave Engel. He signs with the Cardinals, and it looked like last year he was designated to platooning or even just going against the splits. So he goes to AAA for the Cardinals, giving them some depth. Then it looks like Larry Boa officially retires, which makes sense. He in our sim, he never played for any other team other than the Phillies. You'll see him represented here with the Cubbies. did not play in our 84 sim at all, except for apparently in AAA for whatever team he was on, which was Philadelphia. So there you go. And then the Dodgers give Alejandro Pena, their closer, a 4-year deal. Probably a smart move. And I have to go in there before we start opening day and change this to a major league contract. The game just doesn't recognize it. Okay, so there's one day down. Day number 2. And it'll speed up as we go along. There will be some days where there's nothing happening. Oh, we've got our first trade. Oh, Milwaukee, what are you doing? Gosh, this team is just tearing itself apart. We also have injuries. So Mike Felder, 23 years old. It's like if you're 22 or older on the Brewers, you can't work there. It's like age discrimination. They trade him to the Angels. He'll be in their lineup somehow. Plays a good left field. And in return, the Brew Crew gets Tom Marsh, who did not play at all in the majors. He's only 19. So these are prospects. And catcher Kurt Manwaring, who's got a pretty good rating. He's only 19. And he goes to the Beloit Brewers single-A team. I made sure I went through, and every minor league team at every level is the correct name, just so you know. That's how annoying I am about this game. Okay, then Cleveland loses, Bud Anderson for 102 days. He's never been in the majors, so no big deal. But as predicted, Roy Branch will miss 25 days, and I guess he will be back in time for the start of the season. If you look at his transactions, look at how often this guy has been injured. Weeks and months at a time. He actually was the ERA leader in 1982. I don't remember that. There it is, a 2.76 ERA. Kind of amazing. All right. So there's 2 days down. Let's go another day. It's simulating, and nothing happened. So, we just keep plugging along one day at a time. At the end of the week, we'll take a look. Oh, here we go. LaRue Washington signs a 1-year deal with Toronto, and he is on their major league roster. He was like an everyday player for Montreal until last year, and he did not keep his job. So I was going to say we'll play, as we complete 1 week, we will take a look at the Tigers minor leaguer spring training stats and see how they're doing. Oh, Mike Easler retires. The hitman, Mike Easler, he got his, he was a late bloomer in real life, but once this guy started hitting, he could not be stopped. He was one of the best hitters in baseball. This game did not respect him, and he forcibly retired after playing it all in 1984. All right, we'll play one more day, and then we'll take a look at the spring training results so far for the Tigers. Nothing happened. So we'll go look at our lineup. And if you click on the name, you can look down here and see how they're doing in spring training. Willie Wilson's got 3 stolen bases so far. Trammell, only 9 at-bats. George Brett, like he needs spring training. Hitting well, batting .375. Gibby, batting .409. Ken Smith, .333. Terry Kennedy, 5 for 12. Doug Baker, .214. Come on, Dougie. You got to win that job. We don't have any other options. Okay, Glenn Wilson, off to a bad start. And there's Sweet Lou. Ooh, not looking good either. And like all the minor leaguers are participating in spring training as well. Pagliarulo. Let's see how Pags is doing. He's just 3 for 12. He does have a home run though. Okay. I mean, this is going to be a rotation no matter what. I just kind of wonder, like Montgomery, Gumpert, Gibson, and Willis. How are they doing? Well, Montgomery's doing terrible so far. It's a long spring training. I'm not worried about Comstock. Gumpy, doing good. The Creeper, doing good. And Carl Willis is okay with just one appearance. So, okay, we got some time here. Let's keep it going. One day at a time. All right, here we go. We have a couple of injuries. Butch Benton of the Mets, he's in Double-A. No big deal. And Steve Lubertich, who just signed that free agent deal with Oakland. He's on Oakland now. Is going to miss 13 days, but he'll be back in time for opening day. No big deal. Moving on. We're up to March 9th. As it saves itself. And it's considering other options. I'm definitely excited to get this season going. I feel a little bit reinvigorated after the 1970 Seattle Pilots season is coming to a close in just 2 more games. So I'm looking forward to having a fresh start, you know. Al Nipper, oh, the Nipper. The Nip is going to miss 3 months. So there they are. They're actually down a starting pitcher. But they have so many in their AAA system. Team pitching. So yeah, John Tudor, who was actually in AAA, he just slides right in there. And he will be the everyday starter for at least 2.5 months. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, 2.5 or so months. They could have moved Mike Chris in there too, but they didn't. Okay, keep it rolling. March 11th, another injury to a Atlanta Brave, Doug Linton. He's in Single-A, no big whoop. He's on the Durham Bulls. Next one, March 12th. We're almost halfway through the month already. Let's look at the free agents. Has anyone gone down in price? Mullenix. Now he's talking to the Phillies. Little John still talking with the Cubs. Nobody wants Brock Ness Monster. Expos are still talking to Dewey. Ed Romero, Reds. Nobody's talking to Jeff Burrows or Gary Carter. Tucker Ashford's talking to the Cubbies. He's a third baseman, and he's cheap. And he's okay defensively. Not great, but okay. We'll keep him in mind. He might be somebody better to stash in AAA and move Pagliarulo down to Double-A. And we haven't seen any pitchers sign yet, right? Wow, Bob Stanley just dropped the price. And some other people upped the price. There's Tippy. Nobody wants Tippy. Or Vita Blue. Or Minton. None of these guys. The ratings are terrible. Yeah, okay. All right, let's get back to it. Play another day. This is March 13th and nothing. March 14th. Okay. Tom Bolton of the Royals is going to miss 3 months. He wasn't even on the roster, so no big deal. Keep it going. And we have another injury. Jerry Reed of Philadelphia. He is, it's just a few days. No big deal. Okay. Compressing, saving. Usually spring training in Baseball Mogul, there will be plenty of trades. We've only got the one so far. Maybe there needs to be more injuries. Maybe there's just not enough um, teams that have like really struggling offenses. The Padres, Dennis Rasmussen's going to miss 7 days. No big deal. Keeping it rolling. Lots of injuries. Rob Woodward of the Giants, 2 weeks, no big deal. He'll be ready by opening day, but he's not on the roster anyway. Okay, nothing. Here we are, the 19th. Nothing. This makes it quick. Oh, there's a trade. Here we go. Oh, Houston just signed Tim Flannery to this big contract, and then they're like, we can't afford this dude. So they flip him to the White Sox. I mean, all the guy did was bat .362 last year for the Padres and .339, and now he's going to the White Sox. What will he do on the White Sox? Let's take a look at this lineup. Plays second base. Who's the odd man out? And this Neil Fiala, who I think is pretty much toast. He's been given a lot of opportunity to play, and he's done well. He batted .327, .305, and .276. So he's definitely dropped off, but still respectable. But Tim Flannery will come in and play second base. Great defensively. Wow. Okay, that's a good get. Who did they give up? Kurt Stillwell, who's going to play for Asheville Tourists. Wait, what? Well, he got one game at AAA last year somehow. Weird. And then Jeff Baldwin, a left fielder. So no pitching help. That's what Houston really needed. If you remember the National League West preview that we did, they have no pitching. And yet they trade away maybe a valuable asset for essentially nothing. All right, let's keep it rolling. There we go. That's the second trade. Oh, so Houston gets rid of Flannery so they can give Bruce Robbins a 6-year, $2.2 million deal. They make a guy who wasn't even in baseball anymore one of the highest paid players in all of our sim league. That's incredible. Absolutely incredible. And just a dumb move. You could split that and get 2 new free agents for $1 million, But I guess that's what they chose to do. Another day and another injury. Jose Lind of the Orioles, in this case, was going to miss 40 days. He's in single A, so no big deal. We're coming up on the end of spring training here, another week. We'll take a look at the Tigers' spring training stats after this is revealed to us. Any second now. Any second now. All right. All that for Garth Orge, missing 4 weeks. He may have been on their major league roster, so he's going to miss a month, 3 weeks of the season, basically. And he didn't do much for them last year. Okay, let's just take a look at the bullpen. How are they doing? Dave Smith, good, 4 saves, looking good so far. Just looking for the spring numbers down here. Jeff Montgomery is bad. Keith Comstock is good, of course. I mean, the guy's pitched 24 innings. Can we calm that down just a little bit? Gumpy Gumpert, 3.18 ERA. The Creeper, 3.04. Carl Willis, 3.14. Shotzi, 5.32, but he's making starts. He's going to be a long reliever for us, so I'm not really too worried. David Cohn having an excellent spring. Larry Rothschild, not good. Sherman Corbett, looking good. Danny Jackson looking great. Wish I could find a way to convert that at the major league level. There's Frank LaCourte. He's doing well. He's only got into 5 games. We'll have to make a decision on him. Terry Taylor. Looking good. Vicente Palacios. Good. Leiter good. I mean, we're going pretty deep here. All right. So a lot of success. I guess we should look at our starters. Well, Petrie's in peak condition. Bert Blyleven pitching as good as ever. I have no idea how long he's going to last, but good to see he's pitching well. Ryan Kelly looking good. Rosie looking good. And Jeff Robinson looking great. Robinson could be our number 2 starter if it wasn't for Bert Blyleven. Okay, so we're looking good. No worries. Let's keep it rolling. This video won't last too much longer. Oh, another trade. Oh, what is happening with the Cubbies? The Cubs trade their closer, Lee Smith, to the Red Sox. That is bonkers. He is in a contract year, though. So, in a way, I can understand why. We'll look at those 2 teams in a moment. In return, Chicago gets Rob Prenatal. He was a single A guy. And Willie Blair, former Tiger, who has the potential but no endurance, so he can't really be a starter. So they get a closer for nothing. Well, let's look at the Cubs. I think they have Bill Caudill, right? Did they move him into the closer role? Yup, good call. Caudill is in, and Guillermo, they pull a lefty from AAA. If you saw the National League East preview, you know that Guillermo was in AAA. So that's who they've called up. And that makes total sense. You get rid of excess closer. You have a good closer waiting. You even have Willie Hernandez, who won the Cy Young and the MVP one year, 84. Let's see what they did in Boston. Lee Smith becomes the closer. Sorry, Dennis Eckersley. You're not good enough. And who got kicked out of there? Was it John Lester? I'm not remembering right now. So they moved John Tudor into the number 5 spot because of the nip slip. And then they trade for Lee Smith. That is good. That's really good for them. Okay. One more week and we are done with spring training and we'll be ready to go tomorrow. I'm excited. Ed Romero does get a contract. All those years with Milwaukee, he goes to the Reds. He is on the Major League roster. Good for him. Nobody wants Rance Mulliniks. An injury to Tom Dixon of the Mets. No factor. Keep it going. Nothing. Play another day. March 28th. A trade. A 1-for-1 deal. We almost never see that. The White Sox are trading Buddy Groom to the Reds. He'll go to single A. He did get into one game. And in return, they get Terry Bud Bowling. So what does that mean? That is weird, right? I like that the White Sox are making deals. Let's see. So what does he do for the White Sox? He's their leadoff hitter? What? Wait a minute. What's happening? So Joel Skinner, who just hit 27 home runs in his rookie year and was the cleanup hitter, is put into AAA because Bud Bowling has one more point. on him, and then they're like, you know what? Let's just put him right there at the top of the lineup. That doesn't make any sense, but that's why the game is interesting. And then they lose Bob Fallon for 9 days, so he will miss the first week of the season. Oh, okay. Who did they put in the rotation, if anybody? Red J. So Reggie Patterson will be the number 5 starter. And he might not even play. He might be, 4-man rotation. Who knows? Okay, we'll keep it rolling. March 29th. Nada. March of the Penguins. Come on. I guess I could turn the autosave off, but I know that I would screw it up sooner or later. I would shut the game down without it saving at all, and then then I'd be pissed off at myself. So, okay, simulating, thinking about it, nothing. Okay, we are almost there. None, and then the final day, March 31st. Anything? Okay, 2 injuries. Our Tigers lose Rob Malakote, a single-A pitcher, for the entire season due to a broken wrist. So we'll move him to IL. And John Butcher's going to miss 4 weeks for the Rangers. I'm pretty sure he wasn't even in their roster. Okay, so let's take a look at the team. Let's go to pitchers first. Oh, my team. There we go. Rob Malakote. Oh, there we go. So Rob Malakote goes to the IL. All right, we got to make a decision on Frank LaCourte. I don't want to see him go. So that means Carl Willis will have to start the year in AAA again. He pitched well. What about Frank LaCourte? He pitched well and pitched more. All right. Well, Carl Willis is highly rated, but Carl Willis has more options to be sent down. So I guess Frank LaCourte will make the opening day roster. Did Jeff Montgomery pitch any better? He did not. Oof. Well, we're counting on him to be the setup man with his 80 rating. We're asking a lot of these pitchers to essentially repeat what they did last year. So I don't know if that's going to work or not. We're okay with the rotation. It's not beautiful, but we'll take it. We know Coney can help us. We know Danny Jackson can help us if we have to. Looking at the lineup, I think we're good. Let's take a look and see how much Rance Mulliniks costs. He's down from $345 to $305, and he's still negotiating a 1-year deal with the Phillies. Even if I wanted to sign him, the Phillies would counteract the contract and raise it up, and we'd have to go more to keep him. So I don't really want to do that. We could sign Tucker Ashford. Nobody wants him now. So, you know what? We're going to let him stew on the free agent market. There's Mike Schmidt. We could have Mike Schmidt, who didn't even play last year in this game. That's so frustrating, but, there's nothing we can do about that. But, yeah, his ratings are so low, he can't even play defensively. So, anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to be patient. Let Doug Baker have his shot to start, the season in the lineup. And if it works out, great. If it doesn't, then we'll figure out something else. So opening day will take place on April 1st in real life. So we're not going to start tomorrow. We'll go, which is Sunday. We'll go on Monday. And we'll begin opening day, Dan Petrie versus Bob Tewksbury. So I guess that is pretty much all we really need to do to get revved up for the opening day. The only thing left for me to do is to get the logos right for some of the teams. I haven't had a chance to do that yet, so I will. And that way we'll have 100% accuracy. All the new baseball cards are uploaded. Everybody's at the right position. Everybody has the right skin tone. All the minor league rosters are correct. I've done my own stadium effects. Like, this game is ready to rock. So we're going to come back to in 2 days and get the season started. Until then, you can watch us finish up the Seattle Pilots season. And for any new people, you can just go to the Brainiac Baseball main page, and we have all the playlists right there before you. You can check out anything else we've ever done. I probably should mention that 4 times a season, every 40 games essentially, we have a giveaway. So be a subscriber, and you can automatically get in on the giveaways at no cost to you. I pay for all the shipping and the prizes, and you can get in on that. So that's going to do it, and we'll come back in 2 days and start for opening day. Until then, everyone, have a great day.